Hello and good afternoon. This is the Stock Watch about WEIR Minerals or WEIR Group PLC. It's listed on the London Stock Exchange, and the share price in British pounds is 1,748. And that's how you would be able to buy WEIR Minerals on the London Stock Exchange. Now, you may also buy WEIR Minerals in the USA via Citibank. The shares of WEIR Minerals are deposited in the bank, and then the bank issues to you a depositary receipt corresponding to $12.20 per receipt. And the receipt in US dollars corresponds to a certain number of WEIR Minerals shares in British pounds. So that's how US dollar investors can access the stock. The shares of WEIR Minerals are denominated in British pounds on the London Stock Exchange. Some of those shares are deposited in Citibank, and then Citibank issues certificates to people who would like to invest in those shares. The certificates represent ownership of a certain number of shares. They're called depositary receipts. And that's how US dollar investors can access the investment using their currency and talking to a company on their soil. So that's the main story of what an American depositary receipt is. There is also a variant of this, which is the global depositary receipt, which means that there's a bank somewhere in the world who takes care of holding on to the shares and issues the investor a depositary receipt. Now, the share price was 565 pounds in 2007, and then it went all the way up to 2,511 in 2014, but now it has settled to this price of 1,667, and that's still a lot of good growth from 2007 to the present. Following that green line, it represents 8% per year upward movement in the past 14 years. It's true that there was a big jump up of 24% from the low to the high, but it's more representative to measure from the beginning of this time period, 2007, to the present, and that would be approximately 8% per year, represented by the yellow line. Now, so here it is, 8% per year from 2007 till the present, and it's simply a geometric average of the price gains per year, not counting dividends. Now, of course, the question is, can the share price continue moving up at 8% per year? Well, yes, if the sales and profits are good. So if sales and profits continue to be good, then despite the wiggles in the share price, it might still proceed at an average rate of 8% per year. Now, how can shares continue to move up in price 8% or better in future years? You need to look for healthy growth in sales and profits. Okay, so the indicators are that the revenues have been growing 7% a year, which is good. And we just need to check if profits will also be healthy in the future. The past years were okay, moving up between 5 and 6% per year for the past few years. Now, for this year and for future years, one might be able to forecast that the profits may grow, for example, 5 or 7% per year, based on what the analysts think would be achievable. But then they need to check what the company is actually declaring as profits in the first quarter of the year, in the second quarter of the year, and in the third quarter of the year. So if the profits in the first quarter represent an 8% improvement over the first quarter of last year, then you're on track to hit 8% for the year, especially if the second quarter profits are still representing an 8% improvement over the second quarter of last year, and together the first half statistics are 8% better than the first half of last year, then you're on track to hit 8% for the full year this year. And that's why investors normally look at the announcements of profits every quarter to check if the full year could be also 8% per year. If yes, then you have good chances of reaching the target of letting the share price move up 8% per year. And that's why investors have the responsibility to read the interim statements, the financial statements every 3 months or quarter, so that you can check whether the forecast for the full year is attainable. I look forward to the presentation for today. Thank you for listening. Contact me for further financial questions. I'm Alexander Gilles. I work with carillonpartners.net for financial consultancy. I also run this Facebook group on stocks and investing. Thank you and good day.